FirstContact's price. Captain Nova Richards never expected to find an intruder in her ship's engine room, especially not one with crystalline skin that seemed to pulse with internal light. The alien stood frozen beside the quantum drive, her translucent fingers still hovering over the control panel. "Step away from the drive," Nova commanded, her pulse rifle trained steadily on the intruder. The crystalline being turned slowly, revealing faceted features that caught the emergency lighting in mesmerizing patterns. "I am Lysandra of the Luminari," the alien spoke, her voice carrying harmonics that made the air vibrate. "Your vessel's quantum signature matches what we seek. I must request your assistance." Nova kept her weapon raised. "Breaking into my ship is a strange way to ask for help. Give me one reason why I shouldn't alert Coalition security." "Because in approximately 43 hours, an ancient weapon will awaken that could destroy both our civilizations," Lysandra replied, her crystalline form dimming slightly. "I am the last of the Guardian Order, sworn to prevent its activation." Nova's finger remained on the trigger, but curiosity sparked in her mind. After 15 years of deep space cargo runs, she'd learned to trust her instincts. The alien's fear seemed genuine, even if her method of introduction left much to be desired. "Keep talking," Nova said, using her free hand to activate the ship's internal scanners. "But know that one wrong move and you'll learn why they call me the best shot in the Outer Rim." Lysandra nodded, her crystalline form pulsing with what seemed like relief. 3 cycles ago, my order detected energy signatures matching the Worldender, a weapon created by the long-vanished predecessor race. It was designed to harvest stellar energy, but its activation would trigger a chain reaction, causing nearby stars to go supernova. The scanner results flashed across Nova's retinal display. No weapons detected on the intruder, but her biological readings were unlike anything in the database. "And let me guess, you need my ship to reach it in time. Your vessel's quantum drive configuration is unique. It's the only one capable of navigating the dimensional distortions surrounding the weapon's location," Lysandra explained. "I can offer payment beyond your imagining." Nova lowered her rifle slightly but didn't holster it. Secrets of the Ancient Vault. Racing through the stars, Nova's ship, the Star Weaver, pushed its quantum drive to the limit. Lysandra stood at the sensor array, her crystalline form casting prismatic patterns across the bridge as she monitored the pursuing void hunters. 3 vessels still on our tail, Nova reported, executing a complex evasive pattern. "Your friends are persistent." "They're not my friends," Lysandra replied, her voice carrying harmonics of distress. "The void hunters are augmented beings who've sacrificed their consciousness to become living weapons. They won't stop until their mission is complete." Nova's hands danced across the controls as energy blasts streaked past the viewports. "And what exactly is their mission? Besides trying to kill us, of course. To ensure the Worldender activates. They serve the Harbinger Collective, a group that believes destroying current civilizations will allow superior ones to rise from the ashes." Lysandra interfaced with the ship's systems, her crystalline form pulsing in sync with the quantum drive. "We're approaching the coordinates. The vault housing the weapon's control matrix should be." A massive burst of energy erupted from the lead pursuit vessel, catching the Starweaver's port side. Alarms blared as systems went into emergency shutdown. "Direct hit to the quantum stabilizers," Nova growled, rerouting power. "We're going to have to make a blind jump into the nebula." "Hold on." The ship lurched as Nova engaged the damaged drive. Reality twisted around them, the familiar starfield replaced by the swirling chaos of the Maelstrom Nebula. Crackling energy tendrils reached for the ship like hungry serpents. "There." Lysandra pointed to a massive structure floating in the violet storms, an ancient installation that seemed to defy physics, its architecture an impossible blend of matter and energy. Nova guided the damaged ship toward a docking port, fighting against the nebula's gravitational distortions. "That's the vault. It's huge. The predecessors built on a scale we can barely comprehend," Lysandra explained as they docked. But we must hurry. The weapon's energy signature is rapidly increasing. They raced through crystalline corridors that hummed with ancient power. Nova kept her rifle ready, every instinct screaming that they weren't alone. The architecture seemed to shift and flow around them, as if the entire structure was alive. The control matrix should be just ahead, Lysandra said, leading them into a vast chamber. Once we deactivate it. I'm afraid I can't let you do that, a new voice echoed through the chamber. A figure emerged from the shadows, humanoid but wrong, their form a twisted merger of flesh and void-black technology. The Harbinger Collective sends their regards. Commander Blackthorn, Lysandra's light dimmed in recognition. You were part of my order. How could you betray everything we stood for? The corrupted commander laughed, the sound distorted by their augmentations. The old order was blind. The Worldender isn't a weapon, it's a key to ascension. When it activates, it will cleanse this reality and usher in a new age of perfect order. Nova kept her rifle trained on Blackthorn, noting more void-augmented figures emerging from the shadows. Perfect order sounds an awful lot like perfect control to me. A small price for evolution, Blackthorn smiled, their face splitting to reveal crystalline circuitry beneath. Join us, Lysandra. There's still time to embrace the void's truth. The only truth I see is madness, Lysandra replied, her form brightening with determination. She turned to Nova. The control matrix, if we overload it, we can prevent the weapon's activation. But the feedback will destroy the vault, and everyone in it. Nova met the crystalline being's gaze, seeing the weight of centuries in those alien eyes. Then I guess we better make it count. The chamber erupted into chaos as void-augmented warriors charged. Nova's rifles sang, each shot finding its mark with deadly precision. Lysandra's crystalline powers manifested as waves of pure energy, holding back the corrupted forces while she worked to access the ancient controls. The fate of civilizations hung in the balance, and time was running out. Beyond the void's edge. The ancient vault shuddered as energy cascaded through its systems. Nova and Lysandra raced against time, fighting through waves of corrupted warriors while trying to reach the core control matrix. The weapon's charging sequence is accelerating, Lysandra called out, her crystalline form pulsing with urgent light. Blackthorn must have triggered a failsafe. Nova's rifle whined as she picked off another void-augmented attacker. Can we still stop it? Yes, but we'll need to reach the primary core. Lysandra projected a map of shifting geometric patterns. There's a maintenance shaft that should bypass their defenses. They fought their way to a hidden access panel, diving in just as another wave of corrupted forces arrived. The shaft twisted through impossible angles, the very geometry of space seeming to fold around them. The predecessors built this place using principles your science hasn't discovered yet, Lysandra explained as they navigated the maze. The vault exists partially outside normal spacetime. A violent tremor shook the structure. Through viewport panels, they could see the nebula's energy patterns shifting, drawn toward the awakening weapon like water down a drain. If that thing goes off, how many systems will it affect? Nova asked, helping Lysandra bypass a security field. Initially, 7 nearby stars will go supernova. But the chain reaction will spread exponentially. Within a standard year, this entire sector of the galaxy would be uninhabitable. They emerged into the core chamber, a vast spherical space dominated by a crystalline structure that pulsed with building power. Blackthorn stood at its center, their augmented form now barely recognizable as humanoid. You're too late, they announced, voice resonating with void energies. The ascension cannot be stopped. Watch as the old order burns away. Nova aimed her rifle, but energy tendrils lashed out, knocking it away. More corrupted warriors emerged from shadow portals, surrounding them. There's still a way, Lysandra whispered to Nova. The core was designed with failsafes even the predecessors couldn't override. But activating them will require a direct connection, a merger of consciousness with the system. You don't mean. My crystalline form can interface with the core, but the feedback will be fatal. Lyssandra's light flickered. Someone must pilot your ship to safety before the vault collapses. Nova grabbed Lyssandra's arm. There has to be another way. The universe is vast, Nova Richards. Perhaps somewhere out there, another guardian will rise. Lyssandra's form brightened. Now run. Before Nova could protest, Lysandra launched herself toward the core. Her crystalline body merged with the ancient technology, light blazing so bright it seared shadows into the chamber walls. Blackthorn screamed in rage, charging forward only to be thrown back by waves of pure energy. The corrupted warriors began to disintegrate as Lysandra's consciousness spread through the vault systems. Nova ran, her soldiers' instincts taking over as the structure began to collapse. She reached the Star Weaver just as the vault's outer layers started breaking apart. Through the view screen, she watched the massive installation fold in on itself, taking with it the last guardian and the weapon that could have ended civilization. The nebulous storms raged around her ship as she plotted an escape vector. In the end, it wasn't advanced technology or perfect order that had saved them, it was one being's willingness to sacrifice everything for others. The Star Weaver jumped to safety, carrying with it both the burden of witness and the hope of new beginnings. Echoes of betrayal. Nova piloted the Star Weaver through hyperspace, her mind replaying Lysandra's sacrifice. The ship's systems were still recovering from the nebula's effects when a priority transmission cut through the silence. Captain Richards, this is Admiral Theron of the Coalition Defense Force. Your ship has been flagged for immediate quarantine. Nova's fingers tightened on the controls. Admiral, I can explain. Save it for debriefing. You've been exposed to void corruption. Prepare for boarding. 3 Coalition warships dropped out of hyperspace, surrounding the Star Weaver. Nova recognized the lead vessel, the Ironclad, Theron's flagship. Something felt wrong. The Coalition shouldn't have known about the vault incident so quickly. As the boarding party approached, Nova activated Lysandra's final gift, a data crystal containing the truth about the Harbinger Collective. The scan revealed something chilling. The Coalition's highest ranks were already compromised. The airlock cycled. Admiral Theron stepped aboard, his uniform pristine but his eyes unnaturally dark. Where is the Guardian? Dead, Nova answered, watching his reaction. Along with your weapon. Theron's face twisted into an inhuman smile. The weapon was never the true goal, Captain. The vault's destruction released something far more valuable, predecessor biotech that will accelerate our evolution. You're all infected, Nova realized. The void corruption is a gift, Theron interrupted. One you'll soon understand. Nova triggered her ship's emergency protocols. Hidden compartments opened, releasing electromagnetic pulses that temporarily disrupted the void-augmented borders. She fought her way to the engine room, knowing she had only moments before they recovered. The quantum drive hummed to life as Nova input the coordinates Lysandra had prepared, a hidden sanctuary where uncorrupted Coalition forces had gathered. The Harbinger Collective's infiltration went deeper than anyone suspected, but they hadn't won yet. As the Star Weaver prepared to jump, Nova transmitted the data crystal's contents on all frequencies. The truth would spread faster than the corruption. Humanity and its allies would know what they faced. Admiral Theron's voice echoed through the ship, "You can't stop evolution, Captain. The void calls to all of us." "Evolution is earned," Nova replied, engaging the quantum drive. "Not stolen." The Star Weaver vanished into hyperspace, carrying hope for resistance and the legacy of a fallen guardian. The real war was just beginning. Legacy's dawn. The hidden sanctuary turned out to be an ancient space station orbiting a dying star. As the Star Weaver docked, Nova was greeted by Commander Jace Kendrick, leader of the Resistance. "Your broadcast reached us," Jace said, leading her through corridors filled with civilian refugees and military personnel. "The uncorrupted Coalition forces are mobilizing, but the Harbinger Collective controls most of our major installations. Nova shared Lyssandra's final data. The void corruption spreads through their biotech. But there's something else, the predecessors left behind a cure. The station's central chamber revealed a sight that took Nova's breath away, a massive crystalline structure similar to Lyssandra's form. Another guardian? No, Jace explained. A seed. Lyssandra's people were created by the predecessors as living antibodies against the void. Her sacrifice activated dormant genetic markers in the seed. They worked tirelessly, combining Nova's quantum drive technology with the seed's crystalline properties. The result was a weapon that could purge void corruption without harming organic tissue. The final battle came sooner than expected. The Harbinger Collective, led by Admiral Theron, attacked the sanctuary with overwhelming force. But they didn't expect the resistance to have a working cure. Nova piloted the Starweaver through the chaos, deploying crystalline purification waves while resistance forces engaged the corrupted ships. The cure spread like wildfire through the collective's ranks, breaking their connection to the void. Admiral Theron, his form now a twisted mass of void energy, faced Nova on his flagship's bridge. "You don't understand what you're destroying. The void would have made us gods." "We make our own destiny," Nova replied, activating the final purification sequence. The crystalline energy washed over Theron, dissolving the void corruption and leaving him human once more. In the aftermath, Nova stood with Jace, watching crews salvage corrupted ships. The seed had transformed into a network of crystalline satellites, standing guard against future void incursions. "Lysandra knew," Nova said softly. "She knew her sacrifice would lead to this." "The Guardians always played the long game," Jace agreed. "Want to help us rebuild?" Nova looked at her ship, thinking of all the cargo runs she'd made before meeting Lysandra. The universe had changed, and so had she. "Count me in," she said. "Someone needs to keep the void at bay." The Starweaver's quantum drive hummed to life as Nova set course for the first of many missions. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, carrying the legacy of ancient guardians into a new era of vigilance and hope. The greatest adventures, after all, begin with a choice to stand against the darkness.